Woo! Ooh, that background looks cool. That background makes it, like, with all the lighting and the dramatic effect behind it. I have no idea what it'll mean. I don't even want to look it up so that some channel like Mr. Sunday Movies or Emergency Awesome can tell me what that means. But, oh, it's a giant eye? Okay. Well, you know what they say. You can't spell Superman without an eye. I should have gone with my first version of that joke. There's no eye in Superman. It does look like an eye. I mean, literally, unless Superman's in there, I don't understand what else it really could be, because I would imagine, it'd be an energy wave from him fighting somebody else, similar to Neo and Mr. Smith in Matrix Revolutions. I bet there's going to be a bunch of stupid haters there, like, why is he taking the time to put on his boot while the thing is in the back? Of course, he's not going to be just chilling, putting on the boot slowly in when there's an actual emergency behind him. I will say, very clever framing to show that he'll have the shorts. Very clever framing. I like the... This feels like... Well, one, it feels like what I've heard a lot of people have issues with, which are lines in the Marvel suits. But I think this is, for me, a better use of that texture than in the DCEU, right? Battle damage. See, it looks a little loose, which I like. It's always supposed to be just skin tight, or like this is barely a layer over all the muscles, but I kind of like how loose it is. I want to see him standing up. I literally looked at that. I was like, he's been working out. Because whenever I've worked out, it hasn't been for a bit. I always see the veins in my hands. Yeah, I kind of like how it's not a perfect fit, or not skin tight. It's kind of loose around the neck, loose around the wrists. And again, that blue and pink makes it look very cool, like the mood. And a belt and shorts. Is that what I'm seeing there? I don't know how to zoom in on this browser, but... Does he always have the boots? Yeah, right? I was curious about the I wouldn't say that's a therapist office, right? Not with that short of a seat. It's actually reminding me more of the seats in Bruce Wayne's penthouse in The Dark Knight, where Alfred brings him tea and the letter from Rachel saying that she's not going to be with him, and then he says she was going to leave him. She was going to leave him and be with me. And he takes the letter away, like that low of a seat. That's what it's actually reminding me of, especially with the ceiling tall windows. You think Batman's in here? There's a lot of other people. Oh, Lex's penthouse. I would expect Lex's penthouse to be like, well, I don't know. I actually don't know the character, but I was going to say not have much color. Because are those white walls with all the color? Because maybe, because it's darker down here. But I would have expected this to be like it looks like a blue wall to me. But again, this is all blue out here, so maybe not. Yeah, whose penthouse could that be? Is that his office in the Daily Planet? Or an office? What do you think, Will? What do you think of this? Do you like it? This is a nice office. I would hate to get up from that chair every day because my knees are awful. Why does putting on the boots bother you? Because he should just be able to, like the Flash, or like the Superman. That's fair. Well, I'd bet $5 that we don't have an actual situation going on with him putting on the boots. I think the only time I would really see him putting on the boots is probably when he's like trying it on. There's nothing at stake. But yeah, interesting. I mean, I'm sure they were just taking photos and like, what should he do? He shouldn't be like slow-mo boot shot. You don't want him just reclining in the chair with stuff behind him. So they're like, what should be fixing your cape? No. Fixing your hair? No, that seems weird. Putting on the boots? Okay, let's do that. All right, that looks good. Yeah, because the only alternative is like having him face the window, like he's just about to shoot off. But then that would remind me more of The Dark Knight or something like that, where it's all moody and standing there. Maybe him, Lois just had some fun. Oh, God. Come on. Make it quick, Superman. Yeah, I'm no better. I shouldn't pretend. But what page specifically are you taking out of Mallrats? Are you talking about the actual pages in the opening sequence, or the fortune teller? Yeah, what do you actually take a page out of Mallrats and bring Stan Lee into this? Oh, that is what you meant. Honestly, James Gunn looks like a comic book character when he stopped dyeing his hair, and I love it so much. So people would tear him apart. If especially the haters would tear James Gunn apart for doing it, but if if James Gunn had himself cameo in this, similar to how like Stan Lee cameoed in Daredevil or anything like that, or even a little bit with Mallrats, I would lose my mind. I'd love that so much. But again, we've established I'm not a tastemaker. I really enjoy films like Diwali that are not holding themselves to the highest level of artistic integrity, let's say. So I am not one to be trusted with that. But if we did have James Gunn was in the Harley Quinn show, but like that would fit there. That's a good suit. That is a good suit. And I remember recently somebody complaining that Henry Cavill always naturally has the Superman curl, but then being aggravated in every every Snyder film with it being greased back and just like held back like high heavens. Ryan Reynolds does need to put Deadpool in that picture. I like the Superman curl. Also very interesting that they've got him being somber in the first picture they're releasing, right? Because sometimes you'd imagine that they'd want to intentionally step away from something like the last iteration. That's what Daniel Craig did with Bond. And he also felt pressure from Austin Powers existing to not get too kitschy with it. So they went even more serious to get away from both Austin Powers and Pierce Brosnan's James Bond. So I would not have been surprised if they had chosen to go full or more sincere, warm heart, like the lovely part of Superman, and not go in more of, I would say, a middle ground here. It's not super dramatic like Snyder, but it's not fully like, truth, justice. Truth and justice for all, and I love my mom and all that. But knowing James Gunn, I'm not surprised that he's like, I'm not worried about it. We're going to be true to this. We're not going to do what we're doing based on other elements. We're just going to laser focus on making the best story here. I both wouldn't have been surprised if we'd gone further away from this, but I'm also not surprised we went for this tone. But the pink, I think the pink is a really good way to differentiate it, because I don't think the color pink exists in Snyder movies. Yeah. I've been avoiding all this, and recently I was watching interviews with Danielle Melchior, is she in this? I don't want to know. I've been avoiding enough. I want to go into these movies as blind as possible, similar to Deadpool and Wolverine. But no, she's not. I don't think she's in it. She might be, but forget who's playing. You just spoiled what for me? That pink exists in this universe? Yeah. This looks good. Yeah, but I could have avoided it. I wanted to see it. I was curious. I saw the symbol that was released before, and it's like, let's just find out. I was never pissed off when I saw the pic. I wish I could have avoided it because it was part of the trailer, but I was never pissed off when I saw the pictures of Logan in his yellow costume on articles. I was like, all right, fair. I couldn't have avoided that enough. He puts on boots just like you and I, one boot at a time. Doesn't matter that I don't own boots. I don't think I've owned boots since I was 10. Maybe some rain boots. But yeah, curious. I'm very interested for when this comes out. How far away is it? They already fit. Yeah, or no, they're finishing filming in July? Because I remember someone on Threads was like, they're finishing in July. That means it's going to be CGI heavy. Woo! And James Gunn was like, how does a filming end date relate to CGI? And even if it is a ton of CGI, like Guardians of the Galaxy is, and 25, I think. And James Gunn did an amazing job with that. Even, when he wasn't the sole writer, sole creative vision for it on Guardians 1. Great job with all those elements. I don't understand why especially for a flying superhero would be like, oh, CGI. Because July 11th. Wow, was that like 1 year after Deadpool and Wolverine? Because, guarantee, nobody complaining about the amount of CGI in James Gunn's Superman or willing to bet. The grand majority of people who would be complaining about CGI in James Gunn's Superman would not complain about that. Zack Snyder's Superman. But anyway. There was CGI, right? Yeah. There's so. Are you just trolling me? It's really hard to believe that no when LOL came out before I could even read no. Alright, I gotta fact check myself then. Oh, touche. Used rear projection and they did stuff to the negatives, right? To do the eye lasers and everything. Or something. Touche. Forgot that CGI isn't just any cool effect on. In my defense, I wasn't alive in 1978. I was alive in 1977 and then I took a year off. Ooh, yes, please. I'm assuming you've already shared this picture. I can hide it. Yeah, you can do this. Attach the file, upload a file, and then spoiler. I'm glad that the article at least doesn't spoil it. That's very rare, not having the photo there, but of course they probably just want the clicks. I am seeing Fall Guy tonight. Will, hope you have a great freaking day at work. Thank you for sharing the fact that the Superman picture dropped. I was interested in it. And see you at the polka game, my guy.